classical music, everybody thinks it's so serious. The people look serious. They are on stage serious. If you want to become a classical musician, you have to practice 10 years, 6 hours a day, serious. So it's not fun. And I think this is wrong. Classical music is a lot of fun. We are the most relaxed people of all. And why? Because we actually really enjoy the music making and the difference of music. It's like sport. Some people like soccer, some people like tennis, some people like skiing, basketball, baseball, doesn't matter. But in classical music, you will find all sports. So if you like, for example, baseball, maybe Mozart is good for you. If you like, let's say, soccer, maybe it's Beethoven. I don't know, but I can assure all of you that you will find a composer or a music style in classical music you can connect, you like, you love, and you will come back to listen to this. It's not necessary to know something about classical music. We have to get away from believing that we can only enjoy music, classical music, if we know about it. No, classical music is like pop music. You hear it, you like it, or you don't like it. But this is also for classical music. It's a language which speaks to the soul of the people. And if your soul says, I like it, you like it. And if the soul says, no, it's something else.
Please welcome Sergei Redkin.
It's funny because exactly this concerto that I'm going to play in Sofia is the first piano concerto I ever learned for piano and orchestra. But it was, of course, much later. It was when I moved already to St. Petersburg, and I was 12 years old when I learned it and played it for the first time. But when I started, yes, it was in a city, Krasnoyarsk in Siberia. My parents were not musicians, but we had a piano at home. So I showed very early on the interest to the instrument, and my mother showed me some couple of things how to play, and it was completely my idea to go to the music school. So maybe because of that I always felt that this is my thing and I'm doing this, and yeah, maybe that's why I never got really bored.
I was born into a family which is a classical music family. My mother played a little bit the piano, but my father was a member of the Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra. So I was very lucky because I could, as a young child, already listen to concerts and operas. And so it was in a very natural way of getting to know classical music. It was for me the normal way actually of listening was to go to a rehearsal with my mother at the beginning. And what fascinated me in the classical music always was, till today, is this amount of people playing together for one art form, for one sound. And this fascinated me so much that when I was very little, I said already, I want to be the man in the middle. I want to be this person who is in the center of this enormous energy and music making. My father said if I want to become a conductor, I should learn an instrument really professionally, which I did. So I became a violinist. And while I was studying violin, I also started to learn conducting. And then it was I would say, kind of natural process. I first played in orchestra for more than 10 years. I played as a freelance musician in the Vienna Philharmonic and also in America a couple of years, where I also studied at the Juilliard School. And then I decided in my mid-20s to go into professional conducting. Before I just did some student concerts or some chamber music conducting. And then step by step I had the chance to conduct more and more. And when I was in my late 20s, for me it was clear that I will switch completely from violin to conducting, as I felt that I need more time to study. I need more time for conducting, to learn the scores, to read about the composers, and to really in-depth realize what an orchestra needs.
It's very nice, it's very warm. Unfortunately, this year when I played the most in Bulgaria, it was a lot of restrictions, so it was not the whole auditorium. But of course it's very warm, and I feel that there's a little but very passionate society of people who like classical music in Bulgaria, in Sofia. And yeah, it's fantastic.
I'm very happy to be here in Sofia with this wonderful orchestra. I think Sofia Philharmonic is such a wonderful body of sound. There are so many great musicians. It has a warm color. Every musician wants to play, wants to share these emotions from the music with the audience, with each other. So I'm very happy to be here and have the chance to make so much wonderful music with the Sofia Philharmonic.
Normally, of course, we discuss a couple of things with the conductor before we go on stage, before we rehearse. We have to agree on some things. Some things happen on stage. Personally, I'm this kind of musician who doesn't like to agree on everything, to decide what we do note by note, because I think that something can change on stage and it will be better. So it's the same if I play the chamber music with other musicians, it's the same if I play the concerto with the orchestra. If it's a good conductor, and thank God I have a lot of good conductors that I work with, including Maestro Gьотцel. He listens and he understands me, and I feel completely safe that I can do something and he will follow me.
I think what we have to create in music is emotion. Of course, when we play on a very perfect level, we can say as an ensemble, we play technically not perfect, it's impossible, but let's say almost perfect. Every note is on the right place, the ensemble plays perfect together. But this doesn't make the music speak. The musical language is a very emotional language. It needs to be spoken in a certain way that it can be understood emotionally by the audience. If you just play the notes, it means nothing. That's why great composers like Gustav Mahler, for example, says the most important things in music are not written in the music. This comes from the deep meaning, this universal language meaning of the music. So when I work with the orchestra and the rehearsals, I try to really make them understand that we are actually a kind of a transmitter and trigger of an emotional feeling in the audience. If we cannot generate an excitement in the audience, we will fail as musicians, because the audience will not come back or they don't want to see us. So it is in my character to work a lot with metaphors, because when you have 60 people or 80 people in front of you and you just talk about play this more short or more long, or play this with a little deep accent, it's not enough to create emotion. It's a very technical term. So I try, after I have worked out the technical things, playing together short, long, after this, the next level is to work with pictures, to work with unifying images. We all create an emotion in the orchestra. Because when you think of a chord, you say Pam, and now I say to the orchestra, play it like the Mount Everest, and without conducting, they will immediately immediately change this chord to Pam, like this. And when I say, please play this chord like a water drop from one rain to a lake, then they would play Ba. So only a metaphor changing the orchestra sound completely with exactly the same note. So I think it's like in cinema. A good movie is a movie which actually takes you inside of the story. And in music, for me, it's the same. When we make a good performance, we actually take the audience inside of our music.
In the end, we all are playing for public. Of course, there's different psychological tricks. For example, if you think too much about who's in the hall, who's listening to you, it never works. So on the stage, you have to forget about the public. At least it works for me that way. But of course, we all understand that in the end, we are playing for public, and without the public in the hall, it's really different. It's different because I understand that I'm getting filmed and everybody can see it in their homes. So exactly this feeling that there is a listener, but you don't have the direct connection to him. It's different and it's a little putting me off. But I was ready to that. I understand the idea of online concerts, so I decided to take a different program. I took a different concerto that I thought will work exactly for that kind of strange connection. I'm used to this kind of situation when I'm judging my performance by myself, because if you listen to everybody will tell you different things, and it can be even more chaotic than it was before. So I just use this strategy that I play how I play, and then it goes into people's ears and they like it or they don't like it, but it's not always useful to have a feedback. So I'm trying my best, and what's there is already not connected to me personally.
I think not only for the art, I think for being human altogether, COVID might make us realize that we need more to take care of each other and also our environment, our planet. I think that, of course, we are very privileged when we are artists because we can actually create beauty. So we can share beauty with the people and the environment. This is a privilege. And that the artists should really remember that, I think. That we are not going on stage and we think that we are some intellectual superstars, or that we want to change the world completely because we think that's the right way. I think we should get away from this. We should just to take care again, to create something beautiful the people remember. And when we have achieved this, I think it would be amazing. Because when we share the beauty of our cultures, we really share love, we really share caring. And the detoxification starts inside of ourselves. You cannot be inside completely polluted, a bad human being, not taking care, not worrying about the environment, your loved ones. If you do that, how do you want to take care of the planet? Because inside you're completely polluted. You destroy your own planet. So with the art and the culture, in my opinion, we have a big chance to first actually make our inside planet beautiful. And then, seeing this, we can make our outside planet beautiful. And this is why I think for young people it's so important to realize we don't think as classical musicians we are something better, or we want to do the world in our way, or this or this. No, we are just trained to perform on the highest possible artistic quality. It's something completely different. But our feeling, our heart is for the people, is for the planet, is for ourselves. So, to sum it up all together, yes, we have a responsibility now, especially in these COVID times, to create beautiful things. We have to be responsible in the art and culture world to plant seeds in the earth of the humanity, which become beautiful flowers, like the young people going on the street, demonstrating and then planting a seed so the earth becomes more green, more healthy again. With culture and art, we are responsible to make the humans inside planet to become more beautiful again.
This is really endless exploration of new things, new styles, and different works. So I think the classical music just gives me a lot of different information, and inspiration comes from different information. At least I believe so.
Maybe it's too loud. This. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yeah.